start. I'll give some history on how we did things before Bharat Connect and what has changed after Bharat Connect came into existence, right? So before Bharat Connect, Zoho proprietarily we developed a technology called networking, wherein if the customer and the supplier is on Zoho, we can seamlessly exchange the information with a click of a button, and there's no data entry in both the book of accounts, right? But this is limiting, right? We can do it only within Zoho to Zoho. With Bharat Connect, what has come is like a truly interoperable system, wherein if the customer is one end of the customer is in Zoho, and if their supplier is on Tally or EaseBuzz, then the transfer, the exchange of information, the invoice information or the purchase order or the sales order information can seamlessly flow across the system. This is what the demo also showed. And with this system, it's truly interoperable, and it, 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 it doesn't solve the problem of a customer residing in Tally or Zoho, right? A lot of ERP systems are coming into the Bharat Connect ecosystem, and when more player comes into the ecosystem, then it's going to have a multiplier effect. So that is what is going to happen. I'll give you some real-time examples of how this has benefited our customers. We have a large marketplace who's our customer, and they have a lot of intercompany transactions, right? So earlier, what used to happen is like um, they'll raise the invoice from one entity, the same invoice will go and sit in as a bill in another entity. They'll have to manually record it, and a lot of times, because humans are doing it, a lot of manual error had happened. Now with Bharat Connect coming in, there is zero data entry which is required, and there is no manual error that are happening. And with this, the marketplace company has reduced the humans by at least 50%. The workforce has reduced. The people who sat in this operation has reduced at least by 50%. So that's a huge benefit. And when we talk about truly interoperable, just a couple of weeks back, we were seeing a customer from Zoho raising several thousands of invoice to their suppliers who's in Tally, right? So this makes it truly interoperable.
Thanks, Ashok, for that. And so, key points that I would like to bring it to the audience's notice. You would see that he spoke about reduction in the required manpower to run same operations more efficiently, more accurately, and always on time, right? That doesn't mean that your manpower, you can get rid of it. You can do more business with the same amount of manpower, right? If you are a system integrator, if you are doing this for anybody else, you build the plugin for this kind of connectivity once and deploy it in multiple places, and then you have to only do small amount of customizations. Then you always know that, okay, on the other side it is going to be it'll appear real time, always correct, always in sync. So that's one part. The second part is and here is my previous life experience. So I used to work for a very large MNC, a Europe-based MNC, and because of the several M&A, we ended up with 4 different versions of SAP. One of them was on-prem and 3 of them in S4 HANA. And trust me, they don't talk. If this was there 7 years back, my life would have been much simpler. All those things are possible today. Your migration strategies are possible today. You want, or your accountants, let's say, many businesses use and outsource the CA, common CA, right? CAs who are serving thousands of firms. You can give a read-only interface to them. It'll appear there also, as long as you have authorized them. So many such things are possible. And Tally has made this available as a global option with their 7.x release. I would let Rupesh talk a little bit about that and how and why Tally believes that this is a transformative step that Indian economy is taking.
Yeah, so thanks, Shalendra. And thanks for your introduction as well. And I think it's a true example of collaboration because I think we are all live in an ecosystem of people, of businesses. And hence, transformation is inevitable, right? And there was one example when typewriter was introduced in the US in the early 1900s or sometime, people went on strike because अरे ये आ गया तो हमारा काम चला जाएगा, right? So I think technology will transform, right? How things work. Each decade, things have changed. Now it is a matter of few years where things will completely transform. And this is a very apt need that is being solved for right now. We have seen disruptions happening on our own as individuals, right? I don't remember when was the last time I went to an ATM also. I don't carry even my purse or my debit card, credit cards. So it's completely transformed. But transforming businesses has always been difficult, which is all the ERPs and softwares exist to solve for. And there has been challenge of different applications, different platforms, different same thing being spoken about differently in different places, right? Like this bottle of Bisleri is maybe a 250 ml Bisleri being sold by Bisleri, but the receiver is accounting it as Bisleri 7 rupees, right? So it's the same product, but it doesn't interact and talk to each other, and hence all the discrepancies come into play. So these are some of the real life problems, right? Like when we were talking about the earlier example where the invoice has, let's say, it's an FMCG or a pharma company, right? Small value invoices, but invoices running in 5 pages. 5 pages, 50 line items would mean minimum 400 or 500 data points. And those data points don't just have to be entered, they have to be entered accurately. Then only your system works perfectly, because it's not about just the cost of efficiency, it's also about the cost of errors, which is much more than the cost of speed. The cost of errors will actually destroy businesses, accounts being unreconciled, not matching. You think that you are going to receive 10 lakhs from this buyer, and the buyer says, my and your books are not matching, and you are constantly in a struggle just to solve this, right? So all of these frictions, especially in a business to business environment, are huge, which is where now what Bharat Connect brings in is complete clarity and transparency on how businesses will talk to each other. My sale becomes his purchase automatically. There is no differentiation of what I sent and what he's accounted for, right? And on top of the layer, like in Tally also and in other systems also, the way other use cases get built on, right? Like I have received, like I said, this Bisleri, the next time I will map it to my line item, it automatically records it and saves it for the next time. So if I have received the same invoice, next time I have to close my eyes and just click, right? So it is basically transforming not just efficiency, but accuracy to a great level. It also is helping businesses run very fast, right? Right now, if a textile trader in Surat, right, he writes his orders in books, but he's shipping products to Dubai and other places, right? And then at the end of the day, in the night, he's trying to figure out inventory, there is a mismatch, accounts, there is a mismatch, banking, there is a mismatch. So all of this actually causes friction. So, and this is the friction that nobody wants. So hence, I think it's about a lot of value that such a system is going to create. And it's already live in action, and all of you are also businesses. If you're using any of the platforms which are there on Bharat Connect right now, it's very simple to register, to find your network or invite your network to join in, and automatically two of you then start interacting on a daily basis without even knowing that you are interacting, right? It's no longer that you have to interact on WhatsApp or pick up a phone. Your systems directly speak to the other side. So that's the true power which is coming in. And we have seen clients really liking this concept, many of them trying it. But the true power is also going to be in terms of popularizing it to an ecosystem level and driving this change for the customers. I think this is that stage right now of the first 6 months or 1 year where we will have to drive that change. And then once this is done, it will automatically spread like virality. So that is possibly the hope that we have, but I think it's a very sweet spot. And it's basically the time when B2B is going to really drastically change.
And thanks for that. And one very critical point that you alluded to, the consistency of data, right? And pivoting on that, I would like to bring to focus, consistency of data also enhances the trust in data. Today, our lending lags the global peers because partly we don't trust the data. When consistent data and authenticated data or accepted data by both buyer and sellers are existing, that's when the financing will take wings. That's when it will start becoming more and more autonomous. And Easebuzz, who is also having a backing up of NBFC, which would like to get into these kind of corporate financings and invoice financing. Maybe I'll bring Amit to share some of your views about how financing can be expedited using our platform.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Alindras. And just to resonate, and I'll come back to your question, resonate with Rupesh that the transformation and the disruption is inevitable, and I'm so excited to see that this DPI is scaling so fast that it is actually built to solve the kind of a problem with all the businesses. If you look at how a shopper used to have an experience in 2015-16, and now we are having an experience of our shopping or the customer a purchase experience. It has drastically changed. But if you look at the B2B side of the story, it has just moved a bit, right? So whatever business we are doing, with their invoices, supply chain, it just has moved a bit. There could be a little bit of optimization. There could be a little bit of technology inclusion, but it doesn't have moved that much. So that is which was required while NPCI has really brought in this vision. Where they are building world's first DPI for businesses, not for consumers. And this is first ever DPI, and like Shailendra mentioned in the beginning, that this DPI is built to enable all the businesses with all the capabilities which they would require to operate fast, accurate, and to convert their businesses with the highest ROI which they can, right? So that's the motto with this DPI, this infrastructure coming up. We as a payment gateway, primarily as a Easebuzz, we come into in the picture where we are one of the partner with Bharat Connect platform as an OU and the payment aggregator as a regulated entity. We enable all the payment mechanism while we have kind of come out in this whole payment story. With a differentiation that we built, domain-specific workflows on top of the payment infrastructure, and we enable all of the ERP systems. We work with a lot of ERP systems. We work with a lot of businesses, where we enable them with the capabilities so that they can solve their reconciliation problems, so that they can solve their payment collections and the payment disbursements problems, right? So that is where we come in. While Shailendra mentioned that there are a lot of financing options which is coming on this platform, where we are trying to enable the businesses to pay via their corporate credit card. We are also talking on bringing some kind of co-branded card for Bharat Connect or some organization where businesses will have a liberty to get the transactions with the lowest MDR which is possible, and this will provide the seamless transaction and the payment experience for the customer. So that's where, and there are a lot of lenders who are very interested, where they would want to kind of find the comfort with the data which has been provided by your ERP systems, the system integrator which is working with a lot of other businesses. If that is being solved, like the data availability and the data accuracy is solved, lot of supply chain financing, invoice discounting solutions will come onto this platform. So the responsibility is on us, how we can empower this system, how we can bring in the missing components in this system and enable all of the missing pieces, be it the financing, be it the reconciliation, be it the domain-specific workflows which is required for the ecosystem to grow. Yeah.
Thanks, Amit, for that. Just one small clarification. We may not bring in a co-branded Bharat Connect card. The SME and MSME card that the government of India has already approved and it is in force. We may introduce some kind of tweaks on that. But we as an entity don't bring in co-branded cards because we are not issuers. Issuers are banks and PA and PGs. The PA and PGs can get into co-branding exercise backed by an issuer bank, which is Universal Bank, right? And with that, I really want to open up. A few of the gentlemen had some of the questions, and if I can please invite my colleague Shailesh to assist them with an speaking. So that they can. Please feel free to voice your questions. And this is a deep dive session, so don't worry about the situation, right? So go ahead, please.
Yeah. So my name is Naveen Mahadule, and I am one of the implementation partner for Dynamics ERP. So I am traveling from here in Mumbai. So my question is, that is very nice and superb because the data capturing point really a painful area that can't solve by the renowned ERP also. So you guys are doing very well work. My question is related to one business scenario. Suppose the vendor invoice quantity discrepancies against the actual quantity which we have received, because there is a lot of manual email exchange by the purchase team, then finance team, then store team. So how this solution will be useful in that particular scenario, please?
So thank you, and possibly you joined us a little late.
Yeah.
Is it okay if we play the video again? Okay. So in effect, what happens is every transaction has to be accepted by your counterparty.
Okay.
An invoice, if you don't agree with the quantity or quality, you can return it with comments saying that I don't accept this. You have to correct it, right? So either your supplier corrects it or your supplier gives you a credit note. One of these two things. Once it is accepted, once you as a buyer has accepted the invoice, that invoice cannot be edited.
Okay.
But before acceptance, it can be edited, you can return it. You can even short close it, saying that I will issue, me as a supplier can issue you a credit note and short close it, saying that, okay, we did not agree on quality, and hence we can resolve this dispute. And the system allows this for today. The credit debit note capabilities and returning of invoice. In fact, returning of purchase order is also allowed and supported, desired, because these are expected user behavior in the business world, right? So every activity that you are doing has to be accepted by your counterparty.
Okay. So let me clear my scenario. I think still I didn't get my answer. So my question is simple. The vendor has sent the material. The vendor invoice has 100 quantity, And while receiving by the store people, they are recording the quantity is 99. So the GRN quantity is 99. Because of the GST framework, I have to book my vendor invoice of 100 because I have to take a GST credit. Now the thing is, my warehouse people make a comment, no, we didn't receive 100, we receive only 99. So that is again a manual intervention in so-called the branded ERP also. Now for resolving this issue, the warehouse team will coordinate with purchase team will take a approval from the supplier for issue the credit note of one quantity. Then again, our finance team will validate that credit note, then it will get settled. When we will post the credit note, then this one additional quantity which I have received, that will get set off. Then the entire loop of transaction will get resolved basically. So this is basically the pain area really exists in the industry, although they are using a SAP or Dynamics ERP. So how your system is resolve this particular problem? That is.
Yeah, and I'll try and answer. I think it's a very in-depth question with multiple layers in it, right? So one is what is NPCI is doing is giving a layer of interoperability and a way of communicating. And this is being enabled across the entire document flow right now, right? And now let's say this invoice has come and like sir explained, you can accept, reject, return. But now this is, if the access is only with the accounts team and you don't build internal workflows for, that's where the ERP's role will also come in terms of how they build those internal workflows within such that this kind of connects back to the whole system. So if you would have known that this is 99 upfront through your internal interactions, then you would have immediately sent back a return saying, please edit the invoice and send it back to me. There are options in that, right? Okay. So I think the system will also evolve. That's why B2B disruption has been so difficult, and for decades people are still kind of trying to figure out. So this is, I guess, this system will also evolve to all of that. Like every client that we meet comes up with some new nuances. So the diversity is immense. So I think it will be a role of both ERPs, how to build and embed into the Bharat Connect workflow. It is also for Bharat Connect team to keep adapting, right? Like I'll give you an example. Right now, the system works on document first and payment later, right? But the business reality may be very different. People will just send the payment, price list hai, payment bhej diya, abhi mere ko maal bhejo, fir invoice bhejo, right? So those kind of realities is what the system is constantly evolving and adopting to. I think the system currently supports to a certain layer. The ERP will have to play a certain more role into it. And I think together, all of these key patterns which are there in the business, once we go through this, once this ecosystem evolves, it will perfectly fit in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
sure.
so much.
I can invite Ashok on this because they have particularly dealt with multiple such scenarios and they have observed the speed of book closure and reduction in the disputes. So let me
Yeah, like Rupesh rightly mentioned, so the systems are evolving. So in this scenario, upfront, if the businesses know that there is a reduction in the stock or if there is a missing item in the GRN, then they can probably raise a credit note and then that also can flow into the counterparty system automatically. This can be done automatically by configuring some workflows. Whenever you record the GRN, there can be an automated workflow that can automatically raise a credit note and that can go automatically through Bharat Connect to the counterparty system as well. So these are some of workflows which can be configured internally so that, see, the system actually captures multiple things. Whenever an invoice is created to the counterparty system, the bill gets recorded. Same is the case with purchase order, sales order, credit note, debit note, all these things. When during the collection of inventory, when the inventory, if there is a mismatch, then all these workflows can be automated seamlessly.
So yeah, I was trying to add the same, like, the credit note, debit note, all of these, even advance payments has been kind of solved on the same platform. So the fundamental idea of this infrastructure, that Bharat Connect, is to offer the rails to build on top of it, right? So, ERP companies are the innovator on top of these fundamental rails. And, and probably this is the time to get deeper, like Rupesh mentioned. These are the complications why B2B was not getting picked up, right? So that was not, meeting with the transformation. Now it is the, kind of a opportunity to address the larger and the deeper issues into the domains. So if I, kind of talk about, uh, uh, so so largely ERPs are more generalizing stuff, but I see now the country needs more verticalized ERP softwares, right, which can address deeper problems of the particular business, and kind of even get stitch themselves into their ecosystem so great, so that they are becoming part of their business's ecosystem. So that is where we should look at as a easebuzz, like, while we are working with thousands and lakhs of merchants, where we are processing more than 2,000, 3,000 crores every day. So we come across all of these scenarios where we see a lot of reconciliation issues at the merchant ends, at our end as well, right? Where all of these credit note, debit notes, everything has to match to 3 decimal places, so that this can done automatically. So that is the larger moat of this infrastructure.
So, and just to add one more point, in our platform, there has been like more than 10 million transactions which has been processed through Bharat Connect. So I am pretty sure that lot of these edge cases has been already solved in Bharat Connect for business.
Question? Yes, please.
So Ashok, for you and for Tally, sir, you can answer. One of the questions that I've been dealing with is that you had a large merchant base or a customer base where you had built a solution called as network, right? So it was sort of a closed loop ecosystem, right? And with B2B Bharat Connect, you have pretty much made it an open ecosystem. So as any ERP in the country, right, how should they think about converting their closed loop ecosystem to open loop ecosystem? What were the thoughts that you had gone through? And why did you decide to make it an open loop ecosystem?
First of all, we didn't make this as an open loop ecosystem. Credits to the NBBL team for making this as a open loop ecosystem. And the moment we realized that this is going to be an open loop system, then it's a no-brainer, right? So instead of like solving the problem only for our own ecosystem, if there is a way to solve this problem for the entire business across the country, then that's the way to go, right? So that's the reason why we immediately latched on to Bharat Connect for Business, and we put our entire energy in this system rather than on the closed loop system. So that, see, solving the problem for certain set of customers is one, and solving for the entire country is completely another level, right? So this is what NBBL has done, and we are happy to be a part of this ecosystem, and we are playing our role in this.
Just a follow-up question.
Yeah, any next question, because any gentleman, any question, please. Yes, go ahead.
ये very important question है.
हाँ,
चार्जेबल होगा या फ्री चलेगा?
आज फ्री चलता है, भविष्य में सस्टेनेबल बेसिस पे चार्जेबल होगा. रीजन आई एम टेलिंग यू, देर इज नथिंग विच इज वैल्यूएबल दैट कैन रिमेन फ्री फॉर एवर. हम फ्री चलाते रहेंगे तो आप भी वैल्यू नहीं करेंगे उसको, राइट? सो एवरीबडी शुड अंडरस्टैंड कि अगर फ्री मिल रहा है तो आप प्रोडक्ट हैं, अगर आप उसके लिए पे कर रहे हैं तो आप कस्टमर हैं. सो लेट्स नॉट लुक एट फ्री, लेट्स लुक एट सस्टेनेबल. और इसका दूसरा आंसर मैं देता हूँ कि वी आर सेटअप एज अ कंपनी बाय RBI एंड ऑफ कोर्स अंडर द गाइडेंस ऑफ ऑल द मिनिस्ट्रीज with the primary focus to build digital infrastructure for nation. तो हमारा जो चार्जेबल होता है वो भी सस्टेनेबल होता है, क्योंकि प्रॉफिट मैक्सिमाइजिंग हमारा फोकस नहीं है. हमारे पार्टनर्स मतलब इंडिया में इन दोनों को जोड़ लें तो वेरी सिग्निफिकेंट पोर्शन ऑफ द इकोसिस्टम इज दीज टू गाइज टुगेदर, एंड इफ वी ऐड ईज़बज़ देन लॉट ऑफ एजुकेशनल ERP ऑल्सो गेट कवर्ड, राइट. दे आर विथ अस बिकॉज दे ऑल्सो अंडरस्टैंड आज नहीं कल उनको भी प्रॉफिट कमाना है, वो भी तो प्रॉफिट फॉर प्रॉफिट कंपनी है ना यार. मतलब समाज सेवा हम कर सकते हैं, वो नहीं कर सकते, राइट. तो चार्जेबल होगा, सस्टेनेबल होगा. इट विल नेवर बिकम कि इसके कारण आपका बिजनेस पे इम्पैक्ट आएगा. वी विल नेवर डू दैट. सेकेंड पार्ट इज हमारा जो चार्जिंग डिसाइड होता है वो इकोसिस्टम प्लेयर्स मिलकर के करते हैं. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है कि मैं जोहो को दे दूंगा और टैली को नहीं दूंगा. मेरे रेट्स जोहो के लिए अलग नहीं होंगे, टैली के लिए अलग नहीं होंगे. और ऐसा नहीं होगा कि जोहो को पता नहीं होगा कि टैली को क्या लग रहा है, वो भी नहीं होगा, बिकॉज इट इज़ अ कलेक्टिव वे ऑफ डूइंग थिंग्स. अदरवाइज नहीं तो सोचिए कि हम बिल पेमेंट्स का इतना बड़ा रिटेल का इकोसिस्टम चलाते हैं, UPI का इकोसिस्टम चलाते हैं, IMPS का चलाते हैं, NEFT RTGS, आप NEFT RTGS तो RBI का है, NETC टोल प्लाजा पे चलाते हैं, राइट. अगर हमारा चार्जिंग सस्टेनेबल नहीं रहेगा तो ये सब बहुत सारे प्रोडक्ट हैं जो पेड हैं. IMPS पे डे 0 से पैसे लगते हैं, राइट. UPI में गवर्नमेंट आकर के बोलती है कि UPI फ्री दो, तो गवर्नमेंट हमको सस्टेनेंस देती है. सस्टेनेंस जहाँ नहीं दे रही थी वहाँ भी हम वायबल चार्जिंग का मॉडल रखते हैं कि ये प्रोहिबिटिव ना हो जाए.
Yeah, my only humble request to the organizers, not for us, but for the interest of the audience, to allow for 5 more minutes, at least, because I think a lot of inquisitive questions are there. We won't lose, it's the audience that will lose, so we don't want that. Yeah. So maybe a quick, any key important questions you guys can.
The discussion what is going on, I feel that it is related to the manufacturers only. But as we are belongs to the service industry, the consultancy industry, as well as we have some manufacturing products also. So this is very good with the manufacturing activity. But what about the service related industry? Because here something has been decided, but at the 11th hour something has been disagreed and the system is not followed. And this is how we stuck for the payments.
हाँ, 45 days का रूल,
MSME रूल.
MSME का रूल. तो इसका दो पार्ट है, एंड आई एम गोइंग टू ट्रांजिशन बिटवीन हिंदी एंड इंग्लिश. 2 पार्ट में है. पहला तो ये कि आप क्या रूल ला करके हर चीज़ सॉल्व कर सकते हो, एंड वी हैव सीन कि हर चीज़ सॉल्व नहीं होती है. दूसरा पार्ट ये है कि क्या ये एक बिहेवियरल एस्पेक्ट है. यस, ये एक बिहेवियरल एस्पेक्ट है. कल्चरली हम अपना पैसा नहीं देना चाहते हैं, दूसरों के पैसा यूज़ करना चाहते हैं. कल्चरली हमारा मेंटालिटी यही है. तो आज की डेट में ये इसलिए चल जाता है क्योंकि कोई सिस्टम नहीं है जो ट्रैक कर रहा है बिटवीन दीज टू बायर्स एंड सेलर्स. नोबडी इज़ हैविंग ए विजिबिलिटी. अब सपोज आप एक बैंक के साथ बैंकिंग कर रहे हैं एंड आपका जो सर्विस कंज्यूमर है वो दूसरे बैंक के साथ बैंकिंग कर रहा है. ये सारे बैंक्स हमसे कनेक्टेड हैं और आपके अगर ERPs कनेक्ट हो जाएंगे तो आप बैंक के पास जाके बोल सकते हैं कि भाई देखो ये वाला बायर है ना, इसके साथ पैसा मिल जाता है तो आप मुझे इसका डिस्काउंटिंग दे दो. सो उस बायर के लिए वो आपको डिस्काउंटिंग देना चालू करेगा. धीरे धीरे जब सिस्टम में ये आदत बनेगी ना, तो जो लोग आज 45 डेज में नहीं दे रहे हैं ना, वो इस चीज़ पे देना स्टार्ट करेंगे कि मेरा मेरा सप्लायर मुझे टाइमली पेमेंट करने के 2% डिस्काउंट दे सकता है. द सप्लायर लेट डिस्काउंटिंग विल बी मेड पॉसिबल. सप्लायर का 1000 रुपये अटका हुआ है, अगर उसको 980 रुपये आज मिल रहा है वर्सेस 1000 रुपया 6 महीने के बाद मिल रहा है, उस 1000 रुपये की वैल्यू आज 980 से कम है, राइट. सो दोज काइंड ऑफ मॉडल्स विल बी इनेबल्ड बाय दिस प्लेटफॉर्म, एंड ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. ये एक बार में नहीं होता है, स्लोली होता है, डेल्टा होता है, छोटा छोटा स्मॉल पॉकेट्स विल चेंज एंड देन सडनली यू विल सी सो मेनी पॉकेट्स एंड ऑल दोज पॉकेट्स विल कनेक्ट. जैसे UPI किसी ने डे 0 पे बहुत कम लोग अडॉप्ट करने को तैयार थे, वो उस दिन भी लाइन में लगने को तैयार थे, नोटबंदी के बाद भी, राइट. लोग लाइन में लगने को तैयार थे, बट धीरे धीरे जब लोगों को लगा यार, और कहाँ से स्टार्ट हुआ पता है, ऑटो ड्राइवर्स, आपका सड़क पे मोमो बेचने वाला है, वो पानी पूरी बेचने वाला है, वड़ा पाव बेचने वाला है, जब उसके पैसे रात में घर जाते समय पिक पॉकेटिंग नहीं होती है, चोरी नहीं होती है, उस दिन उसको समझ में आया कि यार ये यूपीआई के कारण ना मेरा पैसा बैंक में सेफ है। मेरा जेब किसी ने लोकल ट्रेन में काट लिया या बस में पिक पॉकेटिंग हो गई तो मेरा लॉस नहीं हुआ है आज की कमाई का। जिस दिन बायर्स एंड सप्लायर्स के बीच में ये अंडरस्टैंडिंग आने लगेगी कि भाई मेरे इस बिहेवियर से मुझे फ़ायदा हो रहा है, एंड दिस प्लेटफॉर्म विल इनहेरेंटली वर्क टुवर्ड्स दैट, क्योंकि यहाँ पे हम जिसको बोलते हैं ना कि हम लो ट्रस्ट सोसाइटी हैं, सो वी फिगर्ड आउट दैट द लो ट्रस्ट सोसाइटी दो लोगों के बीच में नहीं है, दो लोगों के बीच में ट्रस्ट है, बट वी हैव लो क्वालिटी ऑफ सिग्नल, जिसके कारण कि बाकी की चीज़ें नहीं आ रही हैं। जब वो क्वालिटी ऑफ सिग्नल इंप्रूव हो जाएगा धीरे धीरे, मैं बोल रहा हूँ एक बार में नहीं होगा, इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल, आप कुछ भी कर लो, है ना। वो एक स्टोरी है, सांप पकड़ के लेके आओगे तो 2 रुपए मिलेंगे, तो लोग पकड़ करके सेब सांप को 5-5 बार जमा कर रहे थे, वो नहीं चलने वाला है। स्लोली द बिहेवियर विल चेंज एंड देन सडनली विल सी अ लार्ज चेंज। इंडिया वैसा ही सोसाइटी है, वैसा ही काम करेगा। सो आवर एफर्ट इज टू ब्रिंग ऑल ऑफ द प्लेयर्स टुगेदर।
Yeah, I just wanted to add one last point and yeah, we can wrap it up. हाँ.
सो डिस्काउंटिंग में इसेंशियली 3 पार्टीज हैं, एक बायर है, एक सेलर है, एक फाइनेंसर है। समटाइम्स सेलर कैन इटसेल्फ गिव डिस्काउंट कि मुझे 5 दिन में, जैसे हाँ एज ऑफ नाउ यू आर डूइंग दैट प्रैक्टिस, बट आपका ये रिकॉर्ड नहीं बन रहा है ना कहीं पे, वो उस रिकॉर्ड को बैंक नहीं ट्रस्ट कर रहा है। करेक्ट, हाँ, तो आप सिस्टमिकली नहीं कर रहे हैं, सिस्टमिकली जब करेंगे तो उसका रिकॉर्ड बनेगा। राइट, जब आप सिस्टमिकली करेंगे तो उसका रिकॉर्ड बनेगा, जो एक वेरीफाइबल रिकॉर्ड है कि इस 2 बिजनेस के बीच में अच्छा ट्रांजैक्शन होता है। तो उस बेसिस पे अगर ये वाला बायर है, ये वाला सेलर है, आई कैन फाइंड, इंस्टेड ऑफ यू गिविंग दैट डिस्काउंट, बैंक विल से यार इसको पैसा आज दे दो, 5% मैं बाद में कलेक्ट कर लूंगा बायर से।
Correct. So, yeah, because I also have a banking background, I'll just add a piece, right? So, Bharat Connect is an intermediate layer. इसमें सिर्फ ERPs नहीं होने वाले हैं, इसमें lenders भी connect करने वाले हैं, banks भी connect कर रहे हैं, right? अभी अगर आपने बाहर बोर्ड देखा है तो वहाँ पे SBI भी है, बाकी भी लोग हैं, ट्रेड्स प्लेटफॉर्म भी इस पे आ जाएगा या जो भी है। सो इससे आज के दिन में बैंक्स को लेंड करने के लिए 2 चीज़ होती है, एक तो SME को अंडरस्टैंड करने के लिए उनके पास टाइम एंड एफर्ट नहीं है, इसके लिए 18% 20% चार्ज करता है। दूसरा है कि SME जिसको माल बेच रहा है दे आर कंफर्टेबल विद दैट, तो दे हैव टू मेक, आज के दिन में वो बड़े बड़े सिस्टम्स बनाते हैं कि यार यहाँ पे आके इनवॉइस अपलोड करो, वो इनवॉइस एक्सेप्ट करेगा तब मैं दूंगा। तो ये साइकिल भी बहुत डिफिकल्ट है। तो भारत कनेक्ट से क्या होगा कि अगर सामने से आपने टाटा मोटर्स के आप स्पेयर पार्ट सप्लायर है, आपने भेज दिया, टाटा मोटर्स ने एक्सेप्ट कर लिया है, तो बैंक उस क्रेडिबिलिटी के बेसिस पे एक्सेप्टेंस जो भारत कनेक्ट पे आया है उससे इनवॉइस आप ERP में ही बोलोगे कि अब मेरे को इसका फाइनेंसिंग दे दो, इमीडिएटली ये फाइनेंसर को भी जाएगा। दैट इज द रोड मैप हाउ भारत कनेक्ट विल हेल्प मेक ट्रांजैक्शन बेस्ड लेंडिंग मच मोर ईजियर। हाँ या और एक है कि एक ये 45 डेज वाला जो टॉपिक है, इज देयर आर 2 एस्पेक्ट्स टू दिस, राइट? वन इज द इंटेंट एंड अदर इज द एबिलिटी, राइट? सो अगर इंटेंट का प्रॉब्लम है तो भारत कनेक्ट सॉल्व नहीं कर सकता है मेरे हिसाब से। भारत कनेक्ट इज ऑल्सो नॉट अ रेगुलेटरी सिस्टम। हमको अभी भी लोग पूछते हैं कि इसमें मेरा डेटा गवर्नमेंट तो आके नहीं लेके जाएगा। हमने इन्होंने last week they have published all the certifications that they have, including privacy certification, so they themselves cannot see the data within. So that is one part. So it's not a regulatory system, it is for business convenience system. But अभी के दिन में because of physical delivery notes, जैसे आप सर ने बोला था, तो वो डिलीवरी नोट ही अकाउंट्स टीम के पास पहुंचता नहीं है, तो वो अकाउंट्स वो इनवॉइस भी नहीं चढ़ाता है या पेमेंट भी टाइम से। तो एफिशिएंसी वाइज इट विल हेल्प, एबिलिटी इज गोइंग टू बी सॉल्व। जैसे चेक्स आज के दिन में जितने थे पहले अभी भी उतने ही है, एंड डिजिटल पेमेंट्स हैव गॉन 100 times more. Same ways, I think once the ecosystem evolves, we'll become a more evolved society in a sense. Capability है, अगर मुझे भी सामने से पैसा मिल रहा है तो मैं भी रिलीज कर दूंगा. And there are lot of fintechs who also solve for different kinds of problems. I'll just take one example, something called as early discounting. आज अगर मेरी कंपनी है, मेरे पास 1 करोड़ रुपया है, मैं बैंक में रखूंगा, मेरे को 6% मिलेगा. बट अगर मैं उसको मैं अर्ली डिस्काउंटिंग पे डाल दूँ कि मेरे पास 1 करोड़ है, मैं सारे अपने सप्लायर्स को बोल दूँ किसको पैसा चाहिए, कितना तुम देने को रेडी हो. People are willing to give discounts of 3 to 4% flat. And that 1 crore that I have extra can earn me anyways, it increases my ROI. So ऐसे भी fintech solutions है which I'm sure Bharat Connect as it evolves, they will also bring in where business to business can lend themselves faster or release goods faster. So yeah. But sir, आपने लेकिन time का बोला था.
You are again our title sponsor, so that's why I'm giving another one question. That is what is the criteria for that? Anyone can apply or join with the Bharat Connect, or some there is a criteria of the turnover, something like that. And again, minus plus something like that. Again, there is some hidden. So no one showing that the thing hidden terms condition over there.
So hidden terms and conditions नहीं हैं. हम हिडन टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस डालेंगे तो ये लोग नहीं आएंगे. सिंपल सी बात है. नहीं, छोटे वाले भी हैं हमारे पास बहुत सारे. और यहाँ पे हम इसीलिए आए हैं कि अवेयरनेस रेज कर सकें एंड बहुत सारे ऐसे जो लोकलाइज्ड काम करते हैं वो भी हमसे जुड़ सकें. राइट. सो जुड़ने के मैकेनिज्म्स हैं. देयर आर कपल ऑफ रोल्स विद इन दिस सिस्टम. वन इज one set of people who serve the businesses, one set of people who will sit within the fund flow. फंड फ्लो मतलब पैसा पेमेंट ये वो सब. फंड फ्लो सिर्फ रेगुलेटेड एंटिटी, आरबीआई रेगुलेटेड एंटिटीज़ जो डायरेक्टली जिनके पास आरबीआई से लाइसेंस होता है सिर्फ वही फंड फ्लो में बैठ सकते हैं. राइट. सो उस रोल के अलावा बाकी जितना भी इंफॉर्मेशन एक्सचेंज है उसमें कोई भी ईआरपी आकर के पार्टिसिपेट कर सकती है. नॉट जस्ट जोहो, नॉट जस्ट टैली. हमारे पास छोटे छोटे जिम्बोक, ओडू लाइव होने वाला है बहुत क्विकली. तो ऐसे छोटे छोटे भी हैं. छोटा नहीं बोलना चाहिए, ऐसे फोकस्ड भी हैं. सो दैट्स वन थिंग. सो आई होप आई आंसर्ड दैट. कोई कुछ भी ऐसा बिजनेस हमसे डायरेक्टली नहीं कनेक्ट होता है क्योंकि हम फ्रंट एंड नहीं बनाते हैं. हम प्लेटफॉर्म हैं, बैक एंड में बैठते हैं क्योंकि हमको ईआरपी बनाना नहीं आता है. यस.
Is there a plan for some rating like what we have, civils, key ratings or K ratings, something like that?
So ratings will become inherently embedded by the banks. We are not a rating agency, please. We are not a rating agency. और rating agencies के अंदर भी फिर से regulation है. Only the lenders can become part of that ecosystem. वो ये पार्लियामेंट का एक्ट है तो हम उसको चेंज नहीं करेंगे और करने की कोशिश भी नहीं करेंगे. पार्लियामेंट का एक्ट है कि रेटिंग एजेंसीज को जो कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकता है दे हैव टू बी अ लेंडर एंड ओनली दे कैन रेट. हम न लेंडिंग एजेंसी हैं न ही ब्यूरो हैं. हमारे पास न ब्यूरो का लाइसेंस है जो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया देती है और न ही लेंडिंग का लाइसेंस है. हमारे पास अपना कैपिटल ही नहीं है. राइट. तो हम नहीं बनाएंगे. बट व्हाट विल हैपन इज आज बैंक को ये विजिबिलिटी नहीं होती है. उसको ये विजिबिलिटी है कि बिजनेस ए बिजनेस बी को इतना पैसा दे रहा है. उसको ये विजिबिलिटी नहीं है कि क्यों दे रहा है. एब्सोल्युटली. तो वो हाँ. सो वो गुड बायर रेटिंग बाय डिफॉल्ट हो जाएगा क्योंकि उसके बेसिस पे फिर फाइनेंसिंग चालू हो जाएगी. तो वो इनहेरेंट है, एक्सप्लिसिट नहीं है. वी कैन नॉट मेक दैट एक्सप्लिसिट. सॉरी.
To your question also, Tally is also not a regulated entity, but we are part of this ecosystem. And if you also have a use case, you have clients, and you come to Bharat Connect team, they're the most supportive. They have a very open layer of certification and steps to follow, but they also engage much before. So शैलेंद्र जी है, शैलेश है, कपिल जी कल आए थे, तो the team is very supportive. I think I'm saying this word for them. It's a very open framework. NPCI doesn't look at any ERP differently. They will have their basic checklists, and if you have a strong use case, because if 100 people come at same time, for them to implement also may be a challenge, but I'm sure they will figure out. And I think the reason why they are sponsoring this event as a key sponsor itself is obviously to make this a countrywide ecosystem, and hence they are here. So I think that intent itself is pretty much powerful than what any of us is here going to say. Yeah.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
I think all questions are covered.
Like a GST integration, we have a GST provider in India. So if any ERP wants to have an integration with Bharat Connect, or any such kind of
So,
yeah,
हाँ,
where,
वो बोलिए।
suppose any other ERP apart from Tally and Zoho, let's say the Dynamics come, and I wanted to connect my ERP with Bharat Connect. So from where I can get a support to do the integration?
So तीन रोल्स हैं. एक TSP का रोल होता है, एंड मेनी ऑफ आवर पार्टनर्स आर प्लेइंग टेक्नोलॉजी सर्विस प्रोवाइडर रोल, जो एक्सेलरेट कर देते हैं आपके इंटीग्रेशन को, विच इज़ द एक्चुअल इंटीग्रेशन वर्क. दूसरा रोल होता है एक ऑपरेटिंग यूनिट का, एंड ऑपरेटिंग यूनिट का के पास ये पॉसिबिलिटी है कि जिनके पास RBI का लाइसेंस नहीं है उसको स्पॉन्सर करके हमारे सिस्टम से कनेक्ट करें. And that's how Tally के पास, Tally is not a RBI regulated entity, but वो हमसे इसी तरीके से कनेक्टेड हैं कि इनके पीछे एक स्पॉन्सर है जो RBI regulated entity है. एंड हमारे पास काफ़ी सारे इस तरीके की एंटिटीज़ हैं जो बहुत सारे ERPs को स्पॉन्सर करना चाहते हैं. सो दैट मॉडल इज़ डेफिनेटली देयर. हम ये when we came into this entire business of making it possible, we are very aware कि number one, इसमें डाइवर्सिटी, द B2B के जो वर्कफ्लोज हैं उसमें डाइवर्सिटी पेमेंट से 1000 गुना ज़्यादा है. नंबर ऑफ प्लेयर्स पॉसिबली 10,000 गुना हैं. वॉल्यूम्स तो UPI की तरह नहीं होंगे, बट वैल्यू UPI की तरह ज़रूर होगा, और उससे ज़्यादा हो सकता है. Right now we settle around 2.5 lakh crores of UPI value every 3 hours. तो I hope कि उससे ज़्यादा हो. तो ये जो डाइवर्सिटी है एंड स्केल है, इसको हमने सोच करके ही सिस्टम के अंदर पार्टिसिपेंट्स के रोल्स बनाए हैं. ऑफ कोर्स अगर हमें बोला जाएगा कि 1 लाख एंटिटीज़ के साथ डायरेक्टली काम करो, हमारी कंपनी 200 लोगों की भी नहीं है. We are not even 200 people and we run 4 different infrastructure for the nation. आपका बिल पेमेंट, आप जो भी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, वाटर, प्रॉपर्टी टैक्स जो भी करते हो, सब हमारा बिल पेमेंट हमारे सिस्टम से होता है. इंटरनेट बैंकिंग को हम हार्मोनाइज कर रहे हैं. B2B का प्लेटफॉर्म है, और एक सेटलमेंट एज ए सर्विस नॉक्स जो ONDC के लिए हम चलाते थे वो भी है. तो 200 लोगों में 4 DPI तो हम चला रहे हैं. आप NPCI जो हमारा पेरेंट ग्रुप है उनकी बात छोड़ दो, तो अगर आप ये एक्सपेक्ट करोगे कि हम 200 लोगों में 1 लाख टच पॉइंट्स को सर्व कर पाएंगे, दैट्स नॉट फीजिबल. तो हम क्या करते हैं कि वी वर्क विद वेरी कमिटेड ओपन पार्टनर्स. हम ओपन को एवरी एंगल ऑफ आवर थॉट प्रोसेस we adopt it so that everybody and anybody who is willing to come and contribute to the growth of nation, we are willing to talk to them. You know?
So whoever is willing to kind of participate in this program, we are one of the providers sitting in Pune, headquartered in Pune, where we are TSP partner to Bharat Connect, and we are working very closely to enable all the ERP system integrated to have all the APIs and the channels connecting to this infrastructure. Yeah.
Over to you, Farman.
Yeah, I think just 1 minute of closing remark I would take. So I think as, first of all, thank you so much, Shailendra sir and dignitaries from Zoho, Tally and Eastbus. I think as everybody's heard, right, this is a DPI that we are trying to create. The intention here is to how to develop the ecosystem, how to develop the nation. The problems in B2B transactions ultimately lead to productivity loss, ultimately lead to errors, lead to financing gap as well. So as an ecosystem, I think all of us want to take this forward. We have a QR here, we have a booth there. We would want to kind of get more and more ERPs on board. The value that each ecosystem member derives from an ERP increases as and when one more ecosystem member gets added. So I think let's all join hands together towards nation building and look forward to getting most of you on board very, very soon.